Right, so today we've got another track day. As you've probably noticed, been a bit quiet on what's going on with the M4 because frankly not a lot. You'll see a video about that. Some have had DPD and Nitron letting me down, but long story short, I have now got the Nitrons, but I missed my slot to have the car all set up and done. So I've got this track day booked on Valentine's Day, and I need to go with something I love. So the E36, as you see here, lurking in his trailer. He's ready to go today. Haven't actually been out in him since August last year, but it's a tip-top car. We'll drag him out, he'll be fine. Last thing I did, put new brakes on it. I don't know if, well, we've done nothing actually, have we, on this car? So let me tell you a little bit about the car first. So yeah, 1073 kilos, so it's like ultra lightweight. And as you can see, it's not even got a dashboard in it, so it's got absolutely nothing in it. So it's got an S54, which is the E46, because it's an E36 M3 from the 90s, and it's got the S54 out of an E46, like from the 2000 noughties. So they're a bit more powerful, better, you know, development of the engine basically that M3s are, or from the E36 onwards, all had. This one, it's got a big trick airbox, it's got a sort of snorkel from the front headlight. It's been mapped. It's not actually had cams or anything apparently. I've spoken to the guy that built it and the guys that had it mapped, but it makes monster power for one of these. I mean, the guy I bought it from had a dyno run for 390 odd horsepower, and I thought, no way, you know, it's not going to be anywhere near that. But I put it on hybrids dyno when I bought it, and it made 378. So 378, 390. So I mean, difference in dynos, difference in day. So it is, you know, it's a really good one. I've got loads of sets of wheels for it, so we run it on slicks and wets and inters, or you know, road legals. So it's a proper bit of kit, but it's also quite a famous car if you know about E36s and you're sad and the Nürburgring. I don't know if you guys know of Tim Morley. We'll put a link up to the video of this going around the ring. It used to be in Porsche Riviera Blue. He had it wrapped in. It was all over YouTube. Just up there you can see the number plate, R263 VRX. So yeah, it was Tim Morley's car, which I think has still got the fastest YouTube E36 lap or something of the ring at, like, I don't know, 7.5 minutes or something, bridge to gantry. So quick car. I've been to the ring, I've done about 750 in it, and obviously Tim's on a few more laps than me. I wouldn't say he's better to drive than me, obviously, but he probably is. But yeah, the thing is fast. It's a good car. So today we're getting it up to Snet, because the M4, nothing's happened to the M4, and there's no real point in taking the M4 again because it will just be the same as it was last time I was at Snet, and it will annoy me, and it looks like it's going to be rain, and I've got no spare wheels yet because I've got another drama with someone not selling me wheels for the car, telling me that 18s won't fit on it, even though I'm sending pictures of it with 18s on it. But anyway, so yeah, we're going to get this up there, get it out, hopefully it will start. It hasn't actually been started since September. And then we've got wets, even they're a bit old and crusty, the wets, but they should be all right. Better than not having wets. We've got some brand new slicks, but it's looking unlikely we'll need them. We might get them in because middle of the day is supposed to be dry, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Get some in-car footage and have a little chat with you guys a bit later on.
Have you cracked your nuts off, mate?
Yep, my nuts are cracked.
And what, you're putting on the slicks for the second half of the session?
As long as it's nice and warm and sunny and dry, so it'll be perfect for slicks, yeah?
Really sunny and dry. Like proper grey
5 degrees, freezing cold. So in a minute when I'm upside down in the gravel.
Slicks, and they're brand new, never used. So this could be good. And he's got some new brake pads on as well, so which is very unusual for Matt. Right, let's see how this goes. So what are you doing here, Matt?
Taking wheels off, putting wheels on, yeah, just for the crack.
Slicks on,
obviously
slicks
the
off.
moment I put the slicks on, it pissed down. Right, slicks off.
Now we've got a wet, very wet track. It just literally started again, going out.
It's solely because I put slicks on. Because I was looking at my weather app telling me there was a less than 5% chance of rain.
Less than 5% chance, no chance. But we got, the sun's trying to get through. But yeah, hopefully it'll dry up again, but it's going to be slippery as hell again. So here we go again. Ding ding, round 2. So it's still raining. Let's wipe that a little bit. Matty's just been pulled, ain't you, mate?
Drifting my arse.
Pulled by the police at the...
So I came in and Faith, who was out with me, was like, I can't believe we didn't get black flag for that drifting. I said, that wasn't drifting. It was just like a bit of corner exit oversteer. I look at the window and there's a marshal in orange going, mate, you've been called in for drifting. I said, that wasn't drifting, that was just a bit of corner exit oversteer. Which didn't make me laugh, because I'm bloody racing drivers. It used to be.
The same marshal actually done me for track limits. I literally touched the curb ever so slightly.
The thing is, there's a difference between drifting and, you know, in this weather, what are you going to do? On the exit, that car is going to wheel spin, it's going to go sideways. Made it back from Snet. The day's all done, no crashes, quite a bit of sideways, and the odd little off-track excursion. Well, not really off-track, but to the edge of the track and maybe onto the little concrete bits every now and again. Okay. The car's obviously the E36 got no ABS, so if you lock it up, you've got to come off the brake and back on and back, and a couple of times I just had little lock-ups, and as soon as you're locked up you run wide, and then before you know it you're right on the edge of the circuit. But yeah, it's pretty, I mean, it was a good day. As you can see, it's raining again now. What was it? It's rained, so it wasn't raining when we got there in the morning, and the circuit was wet but drying up, and it was quite bright, so we thought, oh, it'll be pretty good. Might even get the slicks in, have my brand new slicks all there ready to go. And it was drying out. Went out, I've got these REO 70s, Bridgestone REO 70s, which I think are standard equipment on Nissan GTRs, or they certainly were, or they're an option or something, but they're sort of, you know, track bias tyre, if you like. But they're good in the dry, and they're very consistent. They're not the grippiest, but they're very consistent. They don't seem to go off as bad as some other, you know, track tyres. But they did, but in the wet, when it's damp, they're pretty hopeless. So it was a bit sketchy early on, but it wasn't really wet enough to put the wets in, so I left them in. And then, so I left the REO 70s in, and then as it dried up, started to get a bit of heat into them. They started to work. It was pretty good. We had a few good fun. I had one session just before lunch when it was pretty dry and got going all right. I mean, nothing fantastic. There was still quite a lot of wet, you know, damp patches, but it was good fun. And then at lunchtime, we literally had the picture of the car sat there. In fact, I had it up on jacks, had slicks on one side, and I was looking at the sky. It was getting darker. I was like, And then sure enough, started to spit with rain, so I left it for a bit, stood in the trailer, so it was clearly my fault that it then started to rain. So of course it did rain. It didn't rain massively, but it all got pretty wet, so we put the REO 70s back on, went out, and then there's a session then, I think there's a bit of footage on here. It was like slow motion sideways, it was like dancing on ice. Like, because it, obviously on a racetrack, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, but in the wet you want to kind of stay off the dry racing line, because on the dry racing line you get a lot of rubber put down by the cars going over, and then when that rubber gets wet it gets really slippery, so you kind of take these wider sweeping lines on, you know, kind of around the outside, especially at Snet, like at the hairpins, and there's a lot more grip when you're out there than on the racing line, the dry racing line. But of course you have to come back onto that line, so as you come back onto it you cross the slippery bit, and the thing was just, I mean, you could be going like at walking pace and it, but you know, again, it's fun, and it teaches you a bit car control. The diff in that E36 isn't great. It's not that tight, so it tends to spin one wheel, and it's a little bit unpredictable. So That can make it a little bit hard work, but anyway, then it just rained more, so it never did dry up. So then we put the wets in, but as I said this morning, my wets are pretty old and crusty, and yeah, they're not ideal. They gripped a lot better than the RE070s. It was definitely a good bit quicker than that, but they're still pretty unpredictable, and there was a lot of sideways snapping and wallowing about. It was weird. It was a weird day because I mean, I love that car. I haven't driven it since August. It's a fantastic car, but I just felt a little bit. I felt a bit like I was behind the car today rather than, you know. And usually I'm kind of pretty in tune with that car because I've driven it a lot. I kind of know what it's going to do, but maybe because the tyres are old, maybe the conditions. But conditions shouldn't really make that much difference. But yeah, it just felt like I was chasing it a little bit, and that's never the quickest way. But we're quicker than most things out there. There was a guy in an E36 M3 that was flying round that we couldn't keep up with, but that was about the only thing. So yeah, it was a good day. Car ran faultlessly again. I mean, it's been really, touch wood, really reliable. I service the hell out of it, as oil and filter every couple of track days, and you know, brakes and tyres and whatever. Well, tyres, I say, these words. And it is just, it's a great thing. It's so light. I mean, compared to the M4, the M4 just feels like a massive lumbering thing. And with that little E36 just darts about and turns in. And yeah, it's a great car. And it was a good day. It wasn't maybe my best track day ever, but, it's a track day. Still better doing a track day than a work day, isn't it? So it was good fun. See, I'm sat in the lovely Volvo because obviously I sold the X5, didn't I, to buy the M4, so what do I tow the trailer with? The Volvo, which is quite amusing, especially with it being wet. Obviously the trailer is pretty big and heavy, it's wet, this car's front wheel drive, we've chipped it with a load more torque, you can imagine. So every time it comes on boost it just starts wheel spinning, and obviously one wheel, so you have to be quite delicate to get it to accelerate. Once it's pulling, it pulls right, good old one. And of course, rapidly approaching now is our next terminal velocity event, which is 27th of March. You'll be able to see most of our cars up there, maybe not the Espace because it doesn't move, but we'll try and have most of them up there. We're going to hopefully have all the touring car replicas that are coming on my birthday trip will hopefully all be there, and we'll do a few runs on the runway. If you want to come along and watch, that's fine. It's going to be 10 quid per person or 20 quid per car, so if you want to fill the car up with your mates, that's fine. That'll get you in where any trade stands are going to be, and if any of you guys have got trade stands want to come along to the events, then just drop us a line. So there'll be an area there where everybody is, and there'll be food and refreshments and everything available there. And then up the top where the participants are running from, there's a smaller paddock, but it's not really big enough to get everyone in, so it'll be another 10 quid charge if you want to go up there, and that'll be limited to only 60 cars other than the runners. But you'll be able to see fine from the main area. You'll see them come down the runway, and they have to come round and back, so they'll have to come right back past you. And like I say, the trade stands and everything will be down that end. So that's 27th of March. It should be a good event, and hopefully we'll get some decent weather, but this is England, fingers crossed, eh? But hopefully we'll see a load of you boys there and girls.